Well, a very, very happy Wednesday morning to everyone, and welcome to the John Kentera Show on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Great to have you with me today. Man, this is like a holiday for us baseball fans. And today's the first official day pitchers and catchers work out. Now, I know the Padres yesterday and a lot of other ball clubs, they were throwing bullpens yesterday, but today's the first official day pitchers and catchers are out there working under the watchful eye of their manager, their coaches. The Padre regular position players will report on Valentine's Day with their first workout this coming Sunday, February 15th. And of course, we've got several ball players on the Padres who are going to be representing their countries in the World Baseball Classic, but it gets rolling today, folks, and very excited about the 2026 baseball season. I don't know what to expect out of the Padres. I'm hopeful that they will win yet another wild card, get to the playoffs 3 straight years, first time in franchise history if they're able to do that. I brought up the situation on Monday that a lot of people figure the Padres are going to go backwards this year, and we'll talk about that. That's going to be a daily topic, obviously, on our program. If you're tuning in for the very, very first time, thank you. We very much appreciate that. We're trying to drive our subscribers up to 4,000. We've done pretty well with this show. People seem to like what we're doing. We bring you great content, actual content. We don't make up things on this program. It's all factual. So if you'd like to subscribe, we'd love that. Would love for you to like, would love you to share, would love you to tell a friend. And if you'd like to be a part of our Gold Glove package, $2.99 a month. And really what that does, it just helps support our channel. It's not like we're getting rich. It's not going to change our lifestyle, but it helps pay some of the bills that we do incur doing the podcast on a regular basis. Going to jump right in. We got so much to tell you today. And again, today's the first official day pitchers and catchers. I mentioned Sunday. Everybody else will be there with the bats and balls, taking ground balls, fly balls, throwing bullpens, all that good stuff. And then the Padres open up actually on February 20th. They'll have the annual charity game against the Seattle Mariners at the Peoria Sports Complex. And then Thursday, March 26th, opening day against the Detroit Tigers. And Detroit Tigers right now, I think, are going to be favored to win the AL Central. We're going to talk more about the Tigers a little bit later on today in the program. It finally came down this morning. Miguel Andujar, the former Yankee, the former Pirate, the former the former Cincinnati Red, has inked a 1-year deal with the Padres for right around $4 million. Also, there's a mutual option for 2027. Now, we talked about Miguel Andujar last week when we got word that he was signing with the Padres, but the Padres just officially put out a press release about an hour ago. And let me jog your memory on Miguel Andujar. He's a tremendous talent. There's no question about that. He's 30 years of age. You go back to his rookie year, which was in 2018. He had 573 at bats. He had 297 for the Bronx Bombers, set a Yankee record. Broke Joe DiMaggio's rookie record for the most doubles in a season. He had 47, two triples, 27 bombs, and 92 RBIs. Only walked 25 times and struck out 97 times. Well, you figure right there, here's this guy going to be a star. He can play third, he can play second. He's played outfield, primarily left field. But the problem is he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Now, last year, he played a total of 94 games, a combination with the Athletics and with Cincinnati, and did a very nice job. Swung the bat very well. Hit 318 last year. 17 doubles, a triple, 10 homers, 44 RBIs. The 10 homers, the most home runs he's hit since his rookie year with the Yankees. So you don't know what you're getting, but he hit 318 and his on base percentage a year ago was 352. Now he could play first, he could play third. Got a lot of guys that can play third now. I mean, Andujar can play third. Sung-Mun Song, who we're going to talk about, he can play third. That's been his primary position in the KBO. He'll play a little second, play a little first, and now they're talking about Sung-Mun Song maybe getting a few fly balls out there in left field. But Miguel Andujar officially signed this morning by the Padres with a mutual option for 2027. Okay, I'm going to jump right into the pitching because I think that's what we're really going to focus on today is the pitching. And, I looked at Nick Pavetta's numbers last night. I mean, I don't know if he can do again this year what he did last year. By far a career year. 31 starts, 13 and 5, a 2.87 ERA, and a whip of 0.99. 181 and two-thirds innings, he had 190 strikeouts. He's a veteran pitcher, been around for a long time. It was a career year. The thing that he has to guard against is going out there and trying to do even better, put too much pressure on yourself, try to throw a little bit harder, or make that breaking ball break a little bit more. Just go out and do what you did a year ago. Nice, free and easy, good delivery, working to the plate, and let the chips fall where they may. As long as he's healthy, Pavetta's going to help this Padre ball club. Michael King, we're expecting a whole lot more. I mean, last year he made 15 starts. He was 5-3, and then he had that weird problem with his latissimus dorsi muscle and shut him down there for a while. 15 starts, 5-3 with a 3.44 and a 1.20 whip. I mean, he's one of the best in the business when he's healthy. Then you got Joe Musgrove, missed all of 2025, October 2024, Tommy John surgery. Going to come back, and we'll see how Joe is. I don't expect his command to be there right away. I know he's worked hard. I know he's in great shape. But again, you got to get out on the mound, 60 feet 6 inches, and those guys in the batter's box aren't going to care that you had Tommy John surgery. So it's going to be kind of a wait and see approach, I think, with Joe Musgrove. As long as he's healthy, he'll get his command back, and hopefully he's able to have a solid year. Randy Vasquez, I was looking at Randy's numbers. I mean, really, you talk about a guy that made huge leaps last year. I mean, it was unbelievable. Last year, 28 games, 26 starts. He ended up going 6-7, but he had a 3.84 ERA, 133 and two-thirds innings, 125 strikeouts. We always talk about Randy Vasquez. Well, he's just a guy that throws to contact. Hell, he had 125 punch-outs and 133 and two-thirds innings. That's not too bad. That's a little bit better than just a guy throwing out there and trying to pitch to contact. That's a pretty good effort. Now, where the rub comes in here, who is going to be the fifth guy? And they got a host of guys. J.P. Sears, who we saw last year, he came over in the Mason Miller deal. See how he is. He's been a starter, okay? He's your fifth guy. We're not asking him to be Sandy Koufax or Randy Johnson. He's definitely in the mix. Marco Gonzalez, who missed all last year, he's coming back. Had a decent major league career. ERA a little bit high, but won a lot of ball games. I think career-wise, he's 66 and 50. He's had some good years. Kyle Hart, a guy that I liked. You pitch him at home, he's fantastic. You pitch him out on the road, he can't get anybody out. Now they used him out of the bullpen, kind of as a long guy. Did a pretty good job. There's something there. Matt Waldron, who barely pitched in the big leagues last year, coming back at the knuckleball, 92-mile-an-hour fastball, maybe hit 93. See what he brings to the table. Another depth guy for the organization. And then a guy that everybody's talking about, but he hadn't done anything in a few years, is the right-hander Tristan McKenzie, who used to pitch for the Cleveland Guardians. He's in the mix. And who else could be in the mix? We don't know right now. But right now you got J.P. Sears, Marco Gonzalez, Kyle Hart. All three of those guys are left-handed. I'd love for one of those guys to take the job. And you got Matt Waldron, you got Tristan McKenzie. We'll see how things factor in during spring training. And again, spring training, you got to take it with a grain of salt. You got to definitely take it with a grain of salt. The ball flies over there. Sometimes the breaking ball doesn't break as well. We'll see how it goes. Okay. I want to get to Sung-Mun Song. I'm so excited about this guy. Now, you know what? He might end up being a really, really good player, or he may be a guy that's a 4A player coming over from the KBO. We really don't know. He signed a 4-year deal for $15 million. We have no idea what we're going to get. But I will tell you this. This guy in the last couple of years has become a different player in the KBO. He started out very young in the KBO, and his offensive numbers, they were okay, nothing great, nothing that would say, oh man, this guy's going to play in the big league someday. But you go and look at his numbers the last couple of years, this guy's put on power numbers, and he's running. Early in his career, he never ran. I think he had in his first 5 or 6 years, he had like 5 stolen bases. Well, over the last 2 years, he's got like 47 stolen bases. Last year, he had 25 stolen bases in 27 attempts. Left-hand hitter. Last year, 144 games. He had 315 in the KBO, 37 doubles, 4 triples, 26 homers, 90 RBIs, and an OPS of 917. The big thing with Asian players, most of them come over here, and there's definitely an adjustment period. We saw it with Ichiro. I remember when Ichiro showed up at Seattle camp, they said, there's no way this guy's going to ever hit. They're knocking the bat out of his hands with fastballs inside. No, this guy, he's not going to make it. Otani had a miserable first spring with the Angels. Remember, even pitching wise, they put him out on the backfields. They didn't even want to put him in regular spring training games because he was struggling so bad. So there's going to be an adjustment period. But how long will that take? Will he start the year in AAA or will he start the year on the big league ball club? I want him to start the year on the big league ball club. I really hope he has a good spring training because I want this guy on the big league ball club because I do think there's something there. I've looked at his swing. I think he's going to hit. It's going to take a while to adjust from, 93, 94 to 97 to 100. There's no doubt about that. But they'll crank the machine up and they'll get him a lot of work. And I would imagine he'll play in a lot of spring training games. Now, I know he's nursing a little bit of an oblique, I believe it is. And I don't know whether or not he's going to be able to start right on Sunday. We'll have to wait and see. We haven't gotten an update from A.J. Preller on Sung-Mun Song, or we haven't gotten anything yet from Craig Stammen. I'm sure Craig Stammen on Sunday will address any injuries whatsoever and guys that may not be able to go full go. But I'm very excited about Sung-Mun Song. But again, I think we all have to be very, very patient because he's coming over a new culture, got to figure out where he's going to live. I mean, they're major adjustment. I could only imagine if I had to go to Japan or to Korea, I would need a chaperone. I would need a chaperone, okay, let alone not being able to speak the language, just trying to get from point A to point B. Don't even try to get me from point A, B to C and D. I mean, I need somebody to point me in the right direction. And so there's an adjustment period on the field and off the field. But I'm very excited. This guy has put up some pretty good offensive numbers. And we'll see how it goes. Okay, the catching situation is going to be something that we're going to be talking about. It's going to be kind of not a daily thing, but it's something we're going to be talking about quite a bit because this is the last go around for Luis Campusano. He either makes the ball club or he goes out on the waiver wire. He's out of options. Freddie Fermin is going to do the bulk of the catching. And I would think if those two guys break with the big league club, Fermin is going to catch 2 out of 3 games. Fermin's going to catch, Thursday, Friday. Campusano will catch Sunday. And then Fermin would be back in there on Sunday if they were playing. So I think Fermin will end up catching 2 out of 3. Now, the thing with Campy, if Campy can swing the bat, he could play a little first base if needed. He could definitely be a DH against left-handed pitching. We don't really know what Craig Stammen, the coaching staff, and A.J. Preller have up their sleeve right now. I mean, Andujar really helps this ball club out. And I think Andujar, for me, because of his health history, you gotta keep this guy healthy because this guy could be a difference maker. He has always hit. When he's been healthy, he's always hit. And maybe the power element will come back. I mentioned, that first year he hit 27 home runs. He hadn't even come close. Last year he had 10. But a lot of it had to do with not playing. I mean, when you look at Andujar's numbers, I mean, they're unbelievably bad as far as playing. He played 149 games as a rookie, and then the consecutive years 12, 21, 45, 36, 30. And then last year, or in 2024, he played 75, and then last year he played 94. He played 94 games, put up some pretty good numbers. If you get him to 120 games this year, who knows what kind of offensive numbers, because the guy has always hit. He's got a 282 career hitter. So, I mean, the guy needs to stay healthy, and maybe he ends up being the DH. You keep him out of the outfield. You don't let him play in the infield all that much. I mean, you don't want to put the guy in a bubble, but you want to get something out of this guy. So, Campusano, though, could end up doing a little DH and could play a little first. But this is the last go round. He doesn't make it this year. Then he goes out on the waiver wire. And of course, he could go on claim. Padres could re sign him, stick him down in AAA, but he'd be off the 40-man roster. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Now, the good news, I do have some good news here. Jason Adams said that he should be ready for opening day. Now, the Padres have not said that, but I watched some tape of Jason Adams last night over in Peoria doing some agility drills. He looked pretty good. He's been throwing bullpen since early December. Remember, he had that ugly injury. I mean, that was back on September 1st. Ugly injury where he threw and the ball came back at him. He tried to make a move and he tore his left quadriceps muscle. I mean, that's painful. I mean, I've had a couple of knee surgeries, and I know what those were like, but man, tearing that quad muscle, oh my God. And he had surgery immediately, and he's back working, got a smile on his face. Like I mentioned, he's been throwing bullpen since December. This guy had a hell of a year last year. His ERA was under 2, and the Padres had already run him out there 65 games, and he went down on September 1st. So, he's going to continue to throw bullpens. They want to see him, out on the mound, fielding balls, running a little bit. But like I said, I saw him yesterday on some of the tape in Peoria, and he looked pretty good. He looked pretty good. But again, there's no need to rush a guy because this was 6 to 9 months. So it was in September. So, he's about almost 6 months out, I guess. So September, October, November, December, January. Yeah, a little over 6 months right now. So just let's pump the brakes a little bit. But he's excited about being out there, and I totally get that. Totally get that. Okay, I wanted to mention this just because the Padres open with Detroit. Justin Verlander now is off the blocks. He signed a 1-year deal. You're going to love this. 1 year for $13 million. $11 million is going to be deferred. He'll start getting payments in 2030. Deferred money again, huh? Hey, he turns 43 February 20th. Spent his first 13 seasons with the Tigers. And, last year got off to a miserable start. Was 0-8, ERA astronomical. And then all of a sudden he found the fountain of youth, pitched very well down the stretch for the Giants, and actually finished the year. He had a 4-11 record. Remember, he started out 0-8. So he pitched very well the second half of the year, and he had a 3.85 ERA the final few months of the season. So pretty good sign by Detroit. I still think there's something left. I wouldn't mind the Padres signing him, but he goes back to where he'll retire. I mean, I can't imagine him pitching more than this year, and maybe next year. We'll see how it goes. But I'm sure that's the team he's going to go in with. And if they were to fall out, maybe they'll trade him back to the Astros again. But anyways, the Padres open with Detroit, and that it's kind of a weird series. They play on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the 26th, 27th, and 28th of March. They're off on Sunday. Padres, the first Sunday of the baseball season, the Padres are off. But they've got a 3-game series here, and then the Giants come in the next night on that Monday. But take a look at Detroit's pitching staff. They've got Tarek Skubal, who's won 2 Cy Young's awards in a row. Imagine he would be the opening day starter unless, he had a sore elbow or something. Then they signed Framber Valdez to a 3-year, $115 million deal. They gave him a $20 million signing bonus. And some of his money is being deferred, taken from the Dodgers. Then they got Jack Flaherty. It could be Skubal, Valdez, Verlander. Those could be the first 3 guys the Padres see opening weekend. Holy Toledo. How about that? And then the other thing that I heard yesterday, Zac Gallen, the former Arizona Diamondback who had a miserable season, very rough season last year, 33 starts, 13-15, a 4.83 ERA, and 192 innings. He had a whip of 1.26. He's still out on the market. He turned down the qualifying offer of a little over $22 million with Arizona back in November, and he's still out there. And I'm listening to talk show hosts in San Diego yesterday saying, well, maybe the Padres can sign Zac Gallen for $5 or $6 million. Zac Gallen ain't coming anywhere for $5 or $6 million. You know what? His agent right now may have overplayed it a little bit, but he's going to get more than $5 or $6 million. Now, the Padres apparently, and again, this is probably talk radio bullshit, excuse my language, uh, said, "Oh, the Padres, they could sign him. They're interested in him." Well, you know what? Everybody's probably interested, but they're interested at a certain price. And I'll be honest with you, Padres, there's no way they should touch Zac Gallen with a 10-foot pole. Okay, and I'll tell you why. The price would be too much. Not necessarily money wise, but do you realize the Padres, and I know a lot of people don't value the Major League Baseball draft all that much. The Padres would have to give up a second round pick this year to Arizona and a fifth round pick. Maybe not that big a deal. But then they would also have to give up $1 million in their international signing pool for next year. And the Padres have been really big in that international signing pool. That's where they got Adrian Morejon once upon a time. Remember that? When they gave him, what, $11 million when he was a 16-year-old kid? It took a while for him to get to the big leagues. But there's no way the Padres are going to sign Zac Gallen. If they sign him, they give up second and fifth round pick in this year's draft to Arizona, and they also lose $1 million of their international signing bonus. And, watching Zac Gallen last year, and I know he pitched better the second half, but Zac Gallen left a lot of balls in the middle of the plate. He looked like a tired, old pitcher, and he's not that old, but he's thrown a lot of innings. He just didn't look right to me. Now, he may go somewhere else and find the fountain of youth. He's still very young. It's not like he's 38 years old. I think he's 30. But I'm not signing Zac Gallen. Padres don't have that wherewithal to be able to sign him right now. That's my take on that. Okay, I want to get out to Coach's crew. I've thrown a lot out there for you right now. And I want to hear what you have to say. First day of pitchers and catchers officially thrown over in Peoria. And hopefully the weather over there is a lot better than it is in San Diego today. Make sure you drive safely. Casey, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Good way to start off pitchers and catchers, huh? With a nice super. Good morning, Coach. With college baseball season starting up this weekend, you think my USC Trojans get back to the tournament this year and go farther this year? You know what? Yeah, I do. I think they get back there. I think UCLA, and I know you probably don't like to hear this game. UCLA, by most people's accord, have the best team in the country. They're ranked number one by several of the college baseball sources out there. LSU, obviously, but I like what they're doing up there at SC. I think they've made a lot of strides. They got some stability now in their head coaching situation. I think the Trojans will be very good. I was thinking this. UCLA and USC, they probably hate playing in the Big Ten for baseball. The Big Ten is nowhere near what the Pac-12 was with Stanford, Cal, Arizona State. It's really a shame is what's happened. I mean, for football and basketball, it's been great for the most part, but for the other sports, it's not so great. But I do think USC will have another good year. They're going to continue to get better and better and better up there, I think. And it's good to have USC back in baseball they really kind of fell off the roadmap there for about a decade, at least a decade. But I like what's going on up there, and they got the new field, all the good things that are going on there on that campus. Casey, thank you very much again. Very much appreciate that. All right. What is it? I know you like Blake Hunt, but do you think he's enough if Campy falls off? Probably not. The one thing Blake Hunt's going to do, he's going to catch and throw. He's not going to hurt you defensively. Offensively, there's a power potential there, but not sure he's going to hit for much of an average. But you know what? If he got called up to the big leagues, I wouldn't be surprised at some point. Somebody take a foul tip off the finger, and Blake Hunt's had a good spring. What a good insurance policy because the guy can catch and he can throw. He's a big, strong guy. So I think he'll probably start out the year in AAA, I would think. That's kind of where I see Blake Hunt right now. But I'd like to see him get to the big leagues. I think he's a good ball player, former Padre, I think second round draft pick out of Modern Day High School up there in Santa Ana. Always liked him. Saw him play quite a bit in high school because I was doing agent work back then. And Modern Day, along with Blake Hunt, they had another player, an outfielder that went to Stanford that I was evaluating from time to time. So thank you. What is it? Thank you very much. Hey, what else we got here? All right, Coach, if it was up to you, which pitcher would get that that's still in the market. I kind of like Chris Bassett. I know he's 37 years of age. I've always liked Chris Bassett. I was hoping the Padres about 3 years ago would sign him. He ended up going to the Mets. Was with Toronto, I think, last year. And I still think there's something there. I think he's a guy that likes to throw. He likes to go out there and compete. I don't know what the price tag for Chris Bassett would be, and I would imagine he's going to be off the board pretty quick. But that'd be a guy that I like. I'm kind of like AJ Preller. I see a guy and I follow him, and when I can get him, I'll go after him. That's kind of the way I look at Chris Bassett, a guy that I've liked for a long period of time. Even when he was with the Giants. That's been a while ago. I've always liked Chris Bassett, like his delivery, like his composure, good competitor, wants the ball in pressure situations. I like guys like that. You'd be surprised how many guys in the big leagues, yeah, guys in the big leagues, even good pitchers, sometimes in pressure situations, man, they don't want to necessarily be that guy. So that's how I would answer that question. Okay, what else we got today here? Uh, should have some more questions. Hey, make sure you tell your friends we're doing this podcast, huh? Ruben Niebla, do your magic. Well, that's pitching coach. You got to work with different guys. And the thing about Ruben, even though it's off season, he's always looking at tape, looking at how he can tweak a guy or present a new pitch or a new grip to a guy. I'm really anxious of all the guys that are with the Padres right now, the one guy that I'm really anxious to see if he's able to change some things with is JP Sears. JP Sears has a pretty good arm. I'm really anxious to see what they go into the lab and come up with for JP Sears. I think there's something there. Not that he's going to be a Cy Young Award candidate, but I definitely think he can help this ball club in one way, shape, or form. And I think they're going to have to change some things. Maybe his delivery's fine. I think his delivery's fine. But I think they're going to need to change some shapes of his breaking balls, his off speed stuff. But we'll see what Ruben comes up with. And man, it could be just one little thing, man, moving your fingers over on the ball a little bit to where you're able to get a little bit better follow through or a little more spin. Little thing, man. When you're at the ballpark, you work on different things. You talk to different guys that have had different experience with different pitching coaches. That's why experience is so big. Well, experience is big in anything, but when you're dealing with pitchers, it's huge because everybody has been around. They've had different coaching, good, bad, indifferent. But you just go out there and you continue to work and try to get better. And having a guy like Darvish, I would imagine Darvish will spend some time at spring training. A guy like Darvish who can manipulate the baseball the way he can have an impact on this ball club. He really can, even though he's not going to throw a pitch in 2026. That's my take on that one. Ruben Niebla, very, very good pitching coach. Normally, both Lindor and Carroll broke their hamate bones and will have surgery. Is this kind of hand injury something that will impact them even after surgery? Not normally. I mean, you got to get your hand strength back. Um, Lindor, I don't know. I guess he did it swinging the bat. I mean, it's a really weird. Sometimes guys do it to themselves. The knob of the bat breaks their hamate bone, and it's normally they say 4 to 6 weeks, but my history with it is usually definitely 6 weeks. There's two different ways. You can have surgery and repair it, or you can have the hamate bone taken out. Everybody's a little bit different, but that's a tough one. Lindor and Carroll. I would think if they're Lindor, I think had surgery yesterday or having it today. He might be ready for opening day, but probably not because that's when he's probably going to be able to go full bore. Is right about opening day, so he may get a little bit of a late start, and same with Corbin Carroll. That's a big blow over there for the Arizona Diamondbacks. The other thing about the Mets, not only is Lindor going to be out, and they're hoping to get him back by opening day, but they're going to take our old buddy Juan Soto and move him for right to move him to left field. And I think he probably would fit better in left field. Plant City Field, a lot of nooks and crannies out there. Right field's not easy. Right field is not easy, so they're going to stick Soto out there in left field. and we'll see how he does. One thing about Soto's going to put up number. He's a hell of a hitter. He really is. As big a pain in the tush as he can be. The guy, and he'll wear the guys down. I don't know how it's going to work out long term with the Mets. He's a different breed of guy, but you know what? The dude can hit. He gets on base and he drives in runs, and he's a hell of a player. He's one of the best players in baseball. It's that simple. I'm not a big fan, but he is a hell of a player. There's no question about it. Norm, thank you very much. The hamate bone. Wow. Hamate bone, such a pain in the rear end to deal with. I think the big deal, and if we have some more questions, we'll get to those in a minute. And I'm going to get to Coach's mailbag here soon. I think we need to talk about Craig Stammen a little bit. And Craig, I know addressing the pitchers and catchers is one thing, but he's going to have the whole crew there on Sunday. And there's no substitution for experience, and he's got some good people around him. And I go back to talking to a lot of people when Craig got the job. And first of all, I hope Craig has a great run here. I'm a big Craig Stammen fan. He's a great human being. I don't know if he can manage. I really don't. And you know what? Craig Stammen doesn't really know either. But Craig Stammen is not coming in with the attitude that I know everything and, we're going to do it my way. Craig Stammen is really the perfect guy, I think, for the way baseball is gone. You got to be collaborative now. You think Tommy Lasorda wanted to be collaborative? You think Bobby Cox wanted to be collaborative? You think, Earl Weaver wanted to be collaborative? No. But Craig Stammen, number one's a smart guy. Number two, he knows he's got good resources around him. I saw Buddy Black there yesterday. Buddy Black was walking around. I mean, Buddy Black's managed a lot of games, and Buddy played a long time in the big leagues. He was a pitching coach for Mike Scioscia when they won a world title. Buddy Black is a great resource for Craig Stammen. And there's other great resources. Randy Knorr, who's his bench coach, caught in the big leagues, been around the game forever, managed a little bit in the big leagues, but mostly down in the minor leagues. He was like an interim manager, I think, with Washington once upon a time. So he's got guys around him, and he's coming in with the right attitude. And hopefully guys like Machado and Tatis, they're going to help pull the rope in the right direction. And, we focus a lot on Manny and Tatis, and really it kind of comes down to this. When Manny Machado is playing well, the Padres play well because Manny's in an upbeat mood. If Manny's struggling and kind of malingering around and, kind of doing his thing the Manny way, kind of brings the ball club down. Manny's a big part of this ball club. Not just the way he plays, it's his attitude. When he walks into the clubhouse, he sets the tone for that day. And believe me, there have been guys in the Padre organization over the years that other players, they weren't big fans of. When the guy would come in, it would set a definite tone in the clubhouse for the entire clubhouse. And a lot of times it wasn't a good tone. And Manny's got a big responsibility, not only to play third base and to hit home runs and drive in runs. He got to be a leader, be a real leader of this ball club. And they say he's a leader, but I don't know about that sometimes. And, Manny's got to work on some things too. Number one, he's got to play better defense from day one. He got better as the season went on last year, but he didn't have a great year defensively. Yeah, he'll make that highlight play, the ESPN top 10 play, every once in a while. But he didn't have a great year last year defensively. He got better the second half, but again, he ran out of gas the last 6 weeks. I mean, his offensive numbers the last 6 weeks were awful. And then, of course, he didn't hit in the postseason, and he'd really never been a good postseason hitter. He had the 1 year where he put up some nice numbers, but he's a 209 career postseason hitter. That's not going away. So Craig Stammen's got a lot to deal with. I think this roster, for the most part, is pretty much set. I mean, there may be one spot here and there, maybe a bullpen spot, but the bullpen's going to be deep. Hell, El Paso's going to have a good bullpen. I'm really anxious to see how some of these guys compete because who knows? Padres may make a trade. They've got enough of bullpen guys. They could make a deal to, get another utility guy in here or maybe another infielder. But again, their infield's pretty much stacked. I saw a tape this morning. Luis Ariz. I'm really anxious to watch Luis Ariz. I'm not saying the Padres should have re-signed him. Padres got to do what they want to do on that situation. But I was watching Luis Ariz take ground balls at second base with the Giants yesterday. He's already in camp. He's already taking ground balls, and he's working with Ron Washington. It'll be very interesting to see what type of second base Luis Ariz plays with the Giants because he didn't play a lot of second with the Padres. Played mostly first base. So it'll be a very interesting, and you know what? That'll make him more marketable. He only signed a 1 year deal. Remember, 1 year, $12 million, taking a $2 million pay cut from what the Padres paid him a year ago. So kind of interesting on that. So we'll get some good information here. And this is baseball 24/7 now until the final out of the World Series. Going to be focusing in on every team every day. I want to know what's going on. Hopefully, you want to know what's going on. You'll tune in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. And you come in with your questions. Let's get to our coach's mailbag, see what we got. Austin Prather, hi, Coach. Hope you're feeling better from your surgery. Go Padres. Yeah, I'm doing well. Still quite not there yet, but they said the recovery period was going to be probably 6 to 8 weeks. But I'm making progress, Austin. Everything's going well. It's not hindering me from doing anything. In fact, I got 2 basketball games this week. I got a game a Thursday night, and I got a game Saturday. And oh, by the way, I don't know if you follow me on Facebook, but it was announced yesterday. The Indoor Football League, the IFL, they announced all their broadcasters. And, Steve Quiss and I last year were voted out of 16 teams in the IFL, we were voted the best broadcast team. And they only brought 4 broadcasters back from all the teams last year because now a new company's handling it. And Steve and I were hired by the IFL to call games. So we'll be back doing IFL games this year. And I think only 4 broadcasters out of 16 teams and sideline reporters. That's pretty good. We did okay. Got voted the top broadcast team. And Steve and I, we work well together. We do the UC San Diego basketball games. We do the Strike Force and the IFL. And for the second straight year, Steve and I are going to go up and do the Big West Baseball Championships, which is kind of in my wheelhouse, man. I get fired up about that. And college baseball getting started on Friday. And wish all the teams in San Diego, Division I teams, UC San Diego, Coach Newman and Coach Ungrich out there at USD, and the new head coach, former Torrey Pines alum Kevin Vance, taking over at San Diego State. Heard I was supposed to go. I was invited to go to a big kickoff dinner out at Tony Gwynn Stadium a couple of weeks ago. But it was a week after I had my procedure and I couldn't go. But Buddy was there. A lot of old Aztecs were there. I was invited, but I just couldn't get there. But want to wish Kevin Vance a very, very good season. Wish him the best of luck. Like I mentioned, he went to my alma mater, Torrey Pines, been coaching over at Arizona as an assistant, now taking over at San Diego State. So all 3 Division I programs, I hope they all have a great year. And Point Loma off to a so-so start for Point Loma in Division II. They'll get it rolling. They got a good ball club again this year out there at Point Loma Nazarene. All right, what else we got here? Let's get a couple of others in here before we get out of here. Let's see. Putting us under the Giants is ridiculous. Better be underrated than overrated. Yeah, I didn't do that. That's what a few MLB.com, they had the Padres in 4th place. Yeah, 4th place. And they had the Dodgers, they had the Giants, Arizona, then the Padres. How about that? So we'll see how it all factors in. If the Padres finish in 4th, not going to be good. It won't be a fun off season. And then what do we know about the ownership? When is that going to take place? At some point in time. And then we got 2027 to look forward to. I don't know what to expect in 2027 because of the collective bargaining agreement running out. We'll have to wait and see. But a lot of people are putting the Giants in Arizona. Arizona losing Corbin Carroll, that's gonna hurt. That'll definitely hurt. Okay, what else we got here? Will Salas debut this season? No. I just want to get Ethan Salas back on the field. I mean, he missed almost all last year. And they had a chance to play him in the Arizona Fall League. They chose not to. 20 years of age. He's, I believe, dropped out of the top 100. He hadn't played. And when he did play in 2024, he didn't hit well. Didn't hit well at all. So I don't know. Number one, you got to get the guy healthy. He's 20 years of age. It's not like he's over the hill. I don't think he's even turned 20, very close to turning 20. But he's not over the hill. But those back problems, man, that scares me a little bit. That scares me a whole lot, actually, that he's got back problems. So that's my take. He should be at camp today. We'll see what they say. If anybody asks him, I would think somebody from the media over there would ask him about what's the status of Ethan Salas. But more than anything else, just go out and watch a bullpen. And he should be catching guys in the bullpen. All the catchers in the organization, except maybe low A ball, ought to be in the organization. Be there catching guys right now. It's a great opportunity for young catchers to work with major league pitchers and learn what it's like to catch a major league pitcher. So as they move up the ranks, they're not overwhelmed by some of these guys. That's my take on that. We got anything else today? Okay, that's going to do it. Okay, every day we're going to bring something to the table, folks. Every day we're going to bring something to the table. Again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. We'll be back in on Friday, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot of nuggets for you. Now, I want you to tell a friend. I want you to tell a friend that Coach Kentera is doing a YouTube show. If they're unaware, because there are a lot of people out there that would probably like to hear what we're talking about. And again, it's going to be an interactive show. It's not going to be just me talking for 45 minutes or 60 minutes. I want questions. I expect questions. I expect good baseball people, whether they're Padre fans, Angel fans, Dodger fans, Tampa Bay fans. I want you to bring something to the table. We're going to talk about all the teams. At some point in time, we're going to talk about different teams other than just the Padres, because I'm a baseball guy. I love talking baseball. I talked with a Boston Red Sox scout this morning before I ever got on the air, finding out what they're doing a little bit. Roman Anthony, they're expecting a big year out of Roman Anthony. They just made a trade the other day. So we talked to a lot of different baseball people. So make sure you tune in. Again, if you haven't already subscribed, please like, please share, please tell a friend. And if you'd like, you can be a part of our Gold Glove membership at $2.99 a month. Just helps defray some of our costs for doing the podcast. Until Friday morning, 9 a.m. For Jonathan Oliveri, Coach John Kentera, have a great day and look forward to visiting with you again Friday morning at 9 a.m. on the John Kentera Show, San Diego Sports Talk. Bye-bye.